Okay, so first thing we talk about discriminations. For me, discriminations are not so much about what obstacle they are as about the path and about a here cue or a go cue. Sorry, an out cue. So to define the terms for me here, now if your dog already thinks of the word here as a come to you cue, I would probably pick a different one. Because for me the definition of here is move along with me in the same line. So I don't want, when I say here on the agility course, if my body language is moving this way and I say here, I don't want a dog to turn in and cut into me. Now if my body language is this as I say here, then yes, I would like them to turn this way. But when we're talking obstacle discriminations, I don't necessarily want to say here and a dog turn in if that's our discrimination where that cone is, because now I've got to find a way to turn the dog back and to take the obstacle I wish them to. Hi, sweetie, you're a good girl. So here for me, when it comes to discriminations, means if this is my inside obstacles over here, outside obstacles over here, here would mean I want you to take this inside obstacle, okay? On the other hand, we have the out, which again is a path change cue. You're a good girl. And for me, I really look at the footfalls. So when I cue out, I want to see the dog go from, we're walking this way, when I say out, if I'm asking them to move away from me in that direction, I want to see out. That's what their feet do, along with their head, okay? So what that means is then, when I cue out and I see the footfall happen, I know they've taken the out cue regardless of where they are in relation to the next obstacle. I don't want out to mean I say out way back here and the dog keeps moving forward and at the last second says, okay, I'm going to take the outside obstacle. That doesn't give me enough data soon enough. I want, when I'm dog's back here and I cue out, I want to see that. So now I know they're already committed to that outside obstacle. Okay? So that's what my definition of turns means. Now we're going to talk about body language. So when I'm cueing a here, again inside, take the closest path, I imagine that there's no outside obstacle. I imagine I am cueing and handling as if the path of that here obstacle was the next logical obstacle and there's no outside tunnel or A-frame or dog walk or jump or anything that I'm thinking about. So what that means is I don't really do anything fancy. My feet stay in the path I want them to be in, my shoulders stay in the path I want them to be in, and I probably drop my hand a little bit just to give the dog an extra aid. So if my dog was coming, down the line here, and I want to cue, again, this is our inside obstacle, if I'm over here, all I would simply do would be here, walk it, or whatever an obstacle had to be. My body language stays going forward. My hand drops slightly. Now, on the outside, if I want that out obstacle, you're a good girl, Bob. Yeah, lie down please for a minute, thank you. Way back here, when I cue out, if I'm going to do an outside arm, it's your choice. Whether you decide to train outs with an outside arm or an inside arm, sorry, this is the outside arm. So whether you choose to train outs using an inside arm, i.e. the arm closest to the dog, or an outside, I get those terms confused. Anyway, it doesn't really matter to me as long as you pick one and you're consistent. Hi, I love you so much. Back up, please. Thank you. Lie down. Stay there for a minute. I know you're bored. Good girl. So if I'm cueing with this hand, outside obstacles over there where the corgi's, messing with our cone. When I cue it, I'm out. My feet, my hand, my body language is all saying I would like you to take that path. Again, it's not about the obstacle that's out there. It's about I want the dog to change the footfall. If I'm going to do it with the other arm, which again, whichever you choose to train, doesn't matter to me as long as you're consistent, it's out. I'm cueing that outside obstacle. I want to see the dog's footfall change, okay? All right, so those are just some definitions of terms. Hey. Here, lovey. Thanks, babes. All right, wait. Now for me, when I teach this away from equipment to start with. And I like cones. If you don't have a cone available and you have gate available, you can use a gate. If you don't have that, heck, you can use a chair. You can use a trash can. I don't really care what you use. Lie down. Thank you. We could use a space heater for all that matters. You could use an end table. As I prefer a cone just because it's easily transportable and easy to help the dog then transfer the skill to actual equipment down the line. Zora, hi. I love you so much. I don't love the pushiness though. Thank you, babes. Lie down, please. Good. So when I'm doing this with my cone, I usually prefer to have a dog with some type of a stay. Start with I ask the dog to wait and I go up slightly. Now right now, if you look at my body language, you're probably cued into the fact that I'm going to do the here first. So I get that, wait, thank you. Now, I get the dog back there. Now, if I was going to make her life a lot easier, if I was starting with a really baby dog who I wanted to be really successful, rather than setting her up dead to center here of that cone, hey, good girl, I'd set her slightly off to the side, wait, so that the here path was even more obvious to her. Wait. Now, my foot, my shoulders are all staying the same. And when I release her, I've got my hand down already, and I want her to move on the path my hand is asking. Now, with her, she really likes out to the cone, so it might take a little work. Now, of course, I inadvertently set myself up, so I'm running into this post here. Not a very bright idea. Wait. So I'm going to move my cone so that I don't smash into the post. Ready? Okay, beaker. Whoops! Yay! Good girl. Wait. Good. So you saw she went out around because she's autopilot. Zizi, here. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You think that's the fun day. Wait, Lovey. Good girl. So I'm going to help her and make it a little more obvious. Zizi, here. Yes! Good. Get it. Good dog. Now for this, because again, I want the dog potentially moving past and ahead of me. You know, Sarah, I saw there I tossed her treat once she came to my hand. Again, it wasn't about the cone, it was, is she connecting with what I'm asking her to do instead of going on autopilot? So we're going to do it again. And this time maybe, thank you. I might hand her the treat or I might roll it again. Easy, here, here. Yes, good girl. So there, you saw, she technically was right. She was coming on this side of the cone, but she wasn't connected to me, which is why I stopped and I really waited until I felt her little nose touch my hand. Because I wanted that, good girl, come baby. I want that level of, she's actually listening instead of guessing. Okay, easy. Yes, feather, get it, good. So she's guessing a little bit there, but she was thinking. Come, come. Yeah, you need to breathe. Good girl, you're the sweetest. Wait, nice. Okay, easy, here. Oh, nice try, me. Good girl. Okay, easy, here. Yes, good, get it. So that time she was working it and thinking it. Good girl. Hey, and you're being very good over there too. Got Tommy in the laundry closet. Okay, so right now, again, we're still working all very nice and close. Wait, good. This time we're gonna work the out. And for me, my out is this hand, this leg, this shoulder. So again, I'm gonna help her out by being slightly ahead to begin with. Now, right now, you know, if I were to start cueing this way, she'd take off, ideally hoping, taking she was inside the inside obstacle, which is what I don't want. I want that clarity. So before I even release her, my feet and my shoulder, hi, good girl. Wait, thank you. Are already going to be pointing in that direction I want her to take. So that footfall that I'm looking for, Zora, come here. Thank you. Wait. Should, hopefully, happen the minute she stands up. Let's see if it does. Okay. Oh, yes, get it. Good girl. So she started off down this way. When she got up, this foot was already moving, that outside foot. Good girl, babe. Come here, honey. Good girl. Love you, love you. I know, this is hard. You've been a good kid. You are. Right here, baby. Here. Wait, thanks. Now again, foot already. Okay, oh, yes. Good girl. So she's still thinking of turning in a little bit too much for my happiness at the moment on this. So to make her life even easier, wait, I'm going to move up even further and I'm going to toss my treat a little bit sooner. Oh, yeah. Good. Because when I say out, I don't want them thinking about this obstacle, this cone. I want out just mean I'm moving in this path to potentially infinity. Good girl. Yay. All right, wait. Okay. Oh, yes, get it. So that's again when I toss my treat or my toy, I'm trying to toss it in that path of infinity. Imagine there's nothing in their way, and they can just move along that line. Good girl. Yay. She's done a couple of outs now. We're going to go back and do a little here again. Wait, make sure she's still thinking and not autopilot, because she likes to autopilot sometimes. Okay. Here. Yes, good. Girl. Good. And we'll do another out. Wait. Oh, yes, now better. Good girl. Good girl. And all right, so after I've got my little dog and my body language starting to clear up on this is the inside obstacle to here, this is the out, then rather than leading out so far, I start further back with said dog, and I don't lead out quite so far, and I might make it more challenging by not changing my feet until they're maybe a stride and a half before the obstacle. See if they actually are starting to cue off the body positioning as opposed to, again, autopilot. Hi, sweet love. Come here. Good girl. Here, baby. Here. Wait. Good. So this time I'm going to start more in line with her. Got my little cheese ball ready. She likes cheese. Wait. Leave it. Thank you. Okay, here. Get it. Good. So again, I wanted that here obstacle. My feet and arms should have been in line. I felt like I was slightly turned, but we'll see on the video. Come here, lovey. Good girl. All right, wait. Good. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to really focus on my feet and my arm. I don't want to be pulling her to the side or off at all. I want that commitment to that straight line. Okay. Woo, nice try, baby. Good go. Wait. Good. So I'm going to take myself up a little bit farther. Okay, here. Good. Nice job, love. Okay. Ready to go again? Good girl. All right, so this time we're going to try the out. Wait. Now again, if I'm on early stages, I'm going to help her by, before I even release her, my leg and my arm and my shoulder are pointing out. Oh, yes, get it. And I try to toss my treat or my toy in infinity in as if she was taking that outline. Did you lose it, lovey? Oh, get your treat. Good girl. All right. Okay, here, babe. Good girl. Here. Now, if I again want to see, is she really listening to me? Before I release her, maybe I'll be panting forward, and this would be like, you know, my timing's terrible. I realized, oh crap, we're in the wrong spot. There's discrimination coming up. I gotta cue it. So I'll release her. Okay. Out. Yes. Good. So on the minute I did out, her feet and her head turned away. That's what I'm looking for. Good girl. Yay! Puppy, puppy. Now for me, when I teach this, before I even put any discrimination type obstacles anywhere near my cone, I add an obstacle before it. I want to work on my body language, my handling, and my dog's understanding when coming from another obstacle. Now, imagining, say I had a dog walk here and a tunnel here, I vary where my start obstacle is, my start hoop or jump or tunnel, whatever you want to use, until, regardless of where the dog is coming from to my discrimination, if I cue out, they consistently take the outside obstacle, imaginary, and if I cue here, they're taking that inside path, okay? So right now, I have my hoop lined up fairly center, all right? Now other places I can put it are off to the side, which lines them up more directly with that out imaginary tunnel obstacle. So if I wanted to hear obstacle, it's a little more challenging. Or I can line it up so it's more in line with our here dog walk obstacle, so that if, say, I want the out obstacle, it's a little more challenging. You know, or I can do things where I have the dog come at the whole sequence, set, you know, up discrimination from a 45-degree angle or a 90-degree angle. So that, again, my here obstacle might mean they have to adjust their path versus their outside obstacle, they either have to adjust their path more or less, and so on. And I practice those variations, and I vary where I am in relation to it until I'm feeling confident that when I say out or cue out, the dog's going out, or when I cue here, they're coming in, or vice versa on the other side, out versus here, okay? And again, I'm thinking about path as opposed to the actual obstacles in the discrimination, okay? So, hey Zizi, you want to play with me for a minute? What are you hunting for? Did you find lost cheeses? You did? Okay, thanks for coming, baby. All right, you ready to work? Wait, thanks. All right, so again, when I add my obstacle in there to start with to make her life easier, I'm going to do a little bit of a lead out and then progress to where, wait, thank you. Progress to where there isn't one. So, okay, here. Yeah. Good. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. There's a armoire kind of thing that cheese keeps going under, so I have to rescue it later for her. Good girl. Here, lovey. Good. All right, wait. Yes. Now this time I'm going to do the out. Okay, see. Out. Okay. Good dog. All right, now I'm going to pull my obstacle, first obstacle, out a little bit farther so that the here's a little bit more work. Here, baby. Good girl. Here. All right, wait. Nicely done. Now again, when I do here's, I imagine there's no outside obstacle. I imagine that the natural path the dog would take would be from this hoop to my imaginary inside dog walk, okay? So I would handle it the same way. So, okay, Z, here. Good dog. Nice job, babe. Good girl. Anyway, nice. Now, on this setup, this is in straight line, so my go would be very slight, because I don't necessarily want the dog to take, sorry, not a go, my out would be very slight, because I don't necessarily want the dog to go out, around this post here, so. Okay, Z. Oh, yes, get it. Good girl. Excellent. Good. Okay, so this part in our discrimination training / process, we've started to add some discrimination obstacles. Now again, because this is about path, and I don't want the dog fixating on I'm taking the out tunnel, or I'm taking the in dog walk, or I'm taking the in dog walk, or taking the out dog walk, or the in tunnel, I start with two of the same obstacles, usually hoops, because they're simple and pretty hard for a dog to fail in terms of knocking a rail and missing a contact or something. You could use 2 jumps if you wanted, or 2 tunnels, or whatever. And I'm working on, again, the path and the fall. So in this situation with me over here, the inside obstacle would be our blue hoop, the outside obstacle would be our red hoop. Now the other piece is, if you look at the setup, the cone is positioned slightly ahead of die discrimination. The reason I do this is, again, it helps to give me a sooner marker whether the dog truly is taking the outside path or the inside path, okay? Which, when you start adding equipment, sometimes I find myself it can be a little hard to see. So it also starts to add the ability to start to fade that cone. So once I've got to this point and they're doing well, then I'll move it up to here and here, until, again, I don't want to put the cone before the point I would be asking them to do the behavior, though. So, I wouldn't necessarily put the cone way over here if I don't want her truly to out as she's going through this hoop, or here as she's going through, which, maybe I do, depending on the setup. But for right now, make her life easier and my life easier, cone's going to go there. Hey, Lovey, you want to come play with me one more time? Good girl, babe. I love you so much. Now, in this, you can start this series, if your dog needs an easier way, negate the first obstacle. Just start at that cone again like you did in baby stages till they're going, first in. But if your dog's doing pretty well and feeling confident, add in your first obstacle. Wait, Lovey, good girl. Okay, so again, if we're taking my out red hoop to make her life easier to begin with, my foot and body language is already pointing out. Okay, see, out, get it, good. Little cheese toss. Good girl, kiddo. Right, here you go, Lovey. Good dog. Anyway, good. All right, I want her to take the inside here obstacle. Okay, see, here. Get it. Good girl. Now, if I had more space and or more inclination, I would also be practicing moving with her after I've cued the behavior. Because sometimes, when you're running a course, you might cue the out, and then for whatever reason, you need to go with the dog there, because of the way the course path goes. Or you cue the here, and then you run alongside the dog walk with them. And you want to train that, because sometimes people, as they start moving actually forward, their feet and their arms go funny places, so you train yourself and you have to practice it. Now, as I'm way back here, imagine, oops, sorry, stepping on my dog, because, that's what we do, unfortunately, sometimes. Good girl. Way back here, I'm going to cue her, get out. Thanks, love, you're so sweet. Yeah, I know, I was not clear. That was my fault. Wait, girl. Okay, see, get out. Yes, good girl. Good dog. And you build up from there.